I don't recommend the handle, by the way. You are basically going to throw $10, $20 down the pan. Let's talk about harnesses, shall we? We have cheap ones, we have fashion ones, and we have pretty good ones. So if you are looking for a new harness, this video is going to be for you. Now, for a full rundown of every single harness, please stay tuned, because I think I'm going to save you quite a lot of money over the course of your pup's life. Now, let's get straight into it. The first one is going to be your entry level mesh, quite entry point harness. And this is something that a lot of puppy parents flock to when the puppy is still a puppy and growing. And I don't think that you should buy one of these if you have a puppy. If you have a puppy, because they grow up so fast, the best course of action for you would be to buy a collar, and when the puppy is fully grown, you can maybe buy a harness. But nevertheless, if you have a harness like this, what can you expect? Well, you can expect the whole harness to be poor quality, to be quite flimsy, and it really does its job. You are expected to pay between $10 and $20 or pounds, and it really is quite functional. It's quite lightweight, and they do wear quite quickly. So if you have a dog with something like this, and I'll leave all the harnesses down below so you can check them out. If you buy something like this, make sure that every other month you buy something else, you buy another one. We see all the time that whenever people buy things like these, they do wear a lot, and a year down the line, the dog has ball patches, or it rubs against the skin, and it's not very good because all the seams start coming undone, and because it's just an entry level harness, it's not going to last a long time. So if it looks worn, please replace it, because it can be detrimental to your dog's health and not what you want to do for your dog. You only have one point of contact, by the way, for your lead, and that would be at the top. So that is something to consider. If you are looking for a harness for your car, this wouldn't be very good, because look at it, it's very flimsy. A next step up would be something called either a fit harness or a perfect fit harness, and there's obviously millions of variations, and this is a little bit sturdier. As you can see, what you want to do with a harness is to hug the dog as much as possible, and to have as much contact with your dog as possible without it being rubby on your dog's like armpits or legs or whatever. And these come with 2 points of contact, one at the front, one at the back. So if you have a training lead, it can be very good for training, for example. And this, as you can see, the quality is slightly better. It's slightly better. It's going to last a bit more. The stitching is a lot better, and it is going to be a much better harness for maybe another $10 in incremental value as the introductory one. And so this is a perfectly functional harness. It's not very pretty, as you can see, but if you want something that's functional, that is quite robust, that the stitching is pretty good, this is a comfy harness, and it's something that is going to do the trick. Now, with the entry level harnesses, just like that one and this one, you are only going to have a limited amount of sizes. So it's going to be extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. There isn't going to be that disparity between sizes as some of the top harnesses are going to include. So bear that in mind whenever you are looking at a harness. Some harnesses fit better than others. This would be up to you to really try the harness on, and if you have a sausage dog, for example, that might not be the best one, and if you have a very big dog, that might not be the best one. It all depends. A next step up would be something like this, which is a premium harness, and this is a rougher. I am not affiliated with the company. I'm not trying to sell you anything. And this is probably the style of harness that is the best quality on the market. You have a harness which is a premium product. It's quite pricey, it's quite expensive, but in my opinion, this is worth it, because bear in mind that your dog is going to spend a lot of time with the harness put on, and you want your dog to be comfortable and you want your dog to be happy wearing the harness. And so it's a wonderful sort of product. It's padded, so it's not going to harm your dog. It's going to hug your dog, and it's going to be extremely functional. You have 2 points of contact, as we said. So if you want to train the dog with a halter or with a training lead, you can certainly do so. You can put a clip there and a clip at the front, and that gives you a lot more control over the dog. Like, in my opinion, if you have an adult dog, you should invest in a premium harness, because something like this can be okay for maybe 2-3 months, but eventually this is going to wear, and you are basically going to throw $10-20 down the pan. But if you have a premium harness, and again, it doesn't have to be rougher, there's many brands out there, this can literally last you for years and years and years. I've had mine for 10 years. My dog spends pretty much every single day in it, and he's happy. He doesn't have any erosion on his armpits. Everything is very fine and dandy. It has quite simple way of fitting in, and it's a wonderful product. It's very well built, and it's expensive. You bet your top dollar it is. It's very expensive. You can put different things there as well. But if you have a dog and you are planning to keep your dog for as long as possible, you should probably invest in something like this, because this is literally going to be as functional as possible. And you don't need to buy a separate harness for the car. These will do. These will do everything you want a harness to do. Is it expensive? Yes, but in my opinion, it is worth it. We then get into the territory of fashion harnesses, and fashion harnesses are extremely pretty, and the variation in quality is quite staggering sometimes. Some of them come from the same probably factory in China or abroad, so they are all very similar in or identical in quality, but some of them are extremely pretty, and again, I will leave all of these down below. We have fashion harnesses such as this one, and again, this is quite flimsy. It's really pretty. It's really nice, but you can't do any proper training on all this. You can't probably have this for longer than maybe 6 months without it wearing on your dog, or potentially rubbing your dog's armpits or paws. And so this pretty harness is a very pretty harness, but it is what it is. It's just a fashion harness. And then we get some fashion harnesses that are a bit more robust and that are a bit more weighty. And these pretty much resemble those of the premium harnesses. And so this seems a lot more robust. It's padded. You have something like a handle, for example. I don't recommend the handle, by the way. The handle is something that a lot of people get a lot of comfort in doing, and just picking up the dog. And I don't think you should be picking up the dog, because if you are picking up the dog, that means that something's gone wrong with the training, and you don't want to get into that habit of picking the dog up, because that reinforces that to the dog, that whenever something is going wrong, you are going to pick them up and you are going to save the day. So I would encourage you not to pick the dog up. That's why I don't like the handles. There is nothing inherently wrong with the handles, but I am not a fan. And again, with this sort of harness, you have a clip at the top, one clip at the bottom. So if you have a training lead, you can have a lot more control over the dog. In my opinion, you should get the harness that gives the dog, that hugs the dog the most. We want our dog to be, one, comfortable, and two, feel protected when they are wearing a harness all day, every day. There are harnesses, and I will put them here in the description, that pull a lot from the shoulders. They are training harnesses, canine training harnesses, Julius canine training harnesses, and in my opinion, unless you know what you are doing as a dog trainer or as a dog handler, or you have a very, very specific breed, anytime you pull the dog from the shoulders are going to come with a lot of pressure. You're going to put a lot of pressure on the dog's shoulders, and in my opinion, that is detrimental to your dog's shoulders, and you could potentially be damaging your dog's shoulders. But I don't have anything against them. I don't recommend them because I know what people are like. People just pull the dog, and that just means the dog does this, and I am not a massive fan. But if you disagree with me, please feel free to comment down below. So what harness should you go for? You should go for a harness that really hugs your dog and is very, very comfortable for your dog. Something that you can see your dog wearing for hours and hours on end, and something that your dog is going to wear for a long time. And at the end of the day, you might as well spend the money once and get something like this, and this will probably be the best one for your dog. Again, I am not affiliated with any of the brands here, and I will leave all the options down below for you to have a look at. Again, I think those are all the considerations, whether you are looking for a harness, for a training harness, for a car harness, or for a generic harness for your dog to feel comfortable in. You should make sure your dog is overall very, very comfortable and overall very safe. I would steer away from any harnesses that put a lot of pressure on the dog's shoulders, and so some of those tactical harnesses, in my opinion, aren't as good, because they could potentially damage your dog if you are pulling your dog all the time. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.